I can't hear you. Oh, wait. I don't see anything. I can't hear you.
How are you not on mute?
I don't know, but all I see is you, and it says it's live, and I don't see our pre-thing.
You're killing me. I wonder if everybody can hear you talking. Hey, everybody, it's Monday. We're so glad you're here. We have an amazing guest coming up in just a moment. It's not Rachelle's kitty cat, but hey, we all love the cat, so it's all good. And I don't know if you can tell, we have a theme going on today. Rachelle, what is our theme today?
It is. It's not cat day. He just opened the door. It is. I don't know. It's something that we have in common right now. Usually we dress alike. Okay. Accidentally. This day, it's the most Monday ever. Most Monday ever. No, today is International. What did I say? International Tiara Day, right? Tiara Day. Yes. So I don't have a fancy one. It's from the dollar store. It does not fit me very well. I do have the one that came in the box of props you sent me, but that's more of a crown. And I wanted to have this one on. So I knew you would be excited for it today. That's why I posted it. And yeah.
I know, and it's hit me a lot lately that I'm actually 40 and a half. I'm technically a little bit over 40 and a half at this point. So I don't know how much longer I can get away with wearing this every chance I get, but I'm going to keep wearing it every chance I get. So yes, and we have a great guest today, and we're going to talk about this weekend coming up very soon because we have a good conversation coming up. Mm-hmm. But really quick, you just dropped a new podcast today. Just a couple hours ago. It's hot off the press.
I know.
What is that all about?
I don't know.
All right.
No, I'm kidding. It's funny because I feel like we were just talking about podcasts together, right? Since we had our that amazing, like the Nearpod event yesterday for Pioneer Appreciation. So we were talking about podcasts, and I always laugh at myself when I talk about my podcast because it's just me having a conversation with myself. But the one that I just pushed out there today is about learning or relaxing for the summer and finding balance. And so it's a mix of things, but I know for me, it's always about like the summer. I don't ever count down to the end of the school year. And I'm probably frozen, but that's okay. But I do get excited because usually it means ISTE's right around the corner. There's events. I'm going to see friends. I'm going to have time to read, catch up on all those things. But now we're all kind of exhausted. And so trying to figure out, like, do we engage in the PD? Do we take a lot of time for ourselves? Do we totally disconnect? And so I just talked about it with myself. So that's the podcast.
Oh, I love it. I hope you can't hear all the yelling going on in the background. And I wanted to drop that because I think it's so important about what we're going to talk about today. Do you want to introduce our guests?
I feel like I've talked enough already. I feel like it's your turn. No.
I don't mind. We have an amazing leader coming up. All right, I'm going to bring her right up, Miss Beth Houf. Yay. And I am so glad that you are here. We had a great conversation before we went live, but I see you being recognized all the time. And when I get to meet you in person, this is my first chance getting to meet you in person. I'm so glad. But I can tell how real you are, and I really love it. And also, I just want to say, amazing Tiara. Happy Tiara Day to you.
Thank you. It has not been worn in a few years and the feathers are flying, but I was able to pull it out of my costume trunk. So that's a good thing.
You look amazing. And you are the author of Lead Like a Pirate. Tell us a little bit about yourself and just like how things are going in your part of the world right now.
Definitely. Well, it is the Monday before we are out of school. And so I also, like Rachelle, I'm not a counter downer. But this year I am. This year I'm going to be honest. Like I've really the last day has been there, and I haven't done it publicly or like I don't have the whole. But it has. I feel like every single day is a stretch to the finish line, and really it's a stretch to get to 9 o'clock. And that's not how I am. That's not who I am. but I have never, I don't think, been as tired as I am as, you know, just on the normal day, like the amount of sleep that I am for those of you that don't know me, I've got a lot of tabs open all the time. Like that's just who I am, literally and figuratively. And this year it's definitely, it's been so taxing. And I know that's been that way for everyone. So I try to stay positive and uplifting to those I serve. But it's been hard. It's been hard. Our kids are struggling with all of the effects of the year. And so they just, you know, and middle school is where I'm at. That's who I am too. And it's middle school already doesn't always know their emotions and it's hard for them to name them. And then add this year on there. My own two sons, I have a 17-year-old junior and then a 11-year-old, just turned 11-year-old. I'm getting ready to be 5th grade. And so similar things in the home, you know, it's just, you're kind of seeing all that. I think something that's really positive though, is that we can start to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And, you know, we're still going through a pandemic, but yet we can start seeing that, wow, you know, here in Missouri, we came back in August 100%. You know, we all started day one. We all were in the building. We socially, you know, physically distanced somewhat. We had our masks. We still have our masks. The kids are so tired of wearing masks for 8 hours a day. The staff are so tired of it. But yet at the same time, like, we were able to make it through this year. We just had one of our recognition ceremonies this morning. We're continuing that on this week. And it's been good because a year ago, we had no idea what we were walking into. And although I still feel like that some days, you know, we're able to start really looking at the fall and saying what went well. Like there are some things that went well this year that we can do, like that we can take and replicate next year. What are things we know that we don't want to do again? And really just giving our kids the chance for voice too. And I think that's been definitely a big thing. But I know right now, I'm not going to lie, that's something that I've tried to do a better job too, is normalizing how we feel as educators. I think sometimes we try really hard to always pretend that everything's okay, and it's not. And you don't have to walk around like a sourpuss all day long every day. But at the same time, like when we don't take time to acknowledge our feelings, especially in the role as leader, because really when, you know, I think Todd Whitaker says when the leader sneezes, everybody catches it, right? So I don't want to go around and mope all the time, but I need to go around and make sure people check in on people, but then also really checking my own, like, how am I doing? So I think that's, I mean, I went a little bit of everywhere, which is also me. And especially at the end of the day on Monday, but, you know, I think I am just thrilled at the chance to rest a little bit this summer. I mean, I think for most of us, we've worked for 2 straight years. We didn't, last summer was not a pause. Last summer was oh my goodness, what are we doing next? Like, how do we even fathom what we're getting ready to walk into in the fall? So I think taking time to reset, which is one of, you know, we are looking at our theme for next year, and we're really looking at that, is how do you reset and how do you recharge and how do you reinvent? And I think that's really, you know, we're excited to start looking ahead and kind of get back to, but yet, you know, reimagining and transforming what used to be.
Yeah,
I love it.
Sorry, I was late for Belle.
That's okay. I was being quiet for a second. I don't always do that.
No, but you're right. Like there hasn't been a definitive break. It's just been go, go, go. And I feel like we still have to kind of like go, 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 because we don't know what the fall is going to bring. But then again, like, we're so much better prepared now than we were this time last year for all things. And I know, like, my friend Laura Steinbrink lives in Missouri, and like, we've compared, like, just such a different experience between, you know, they were in person and didn't have as many like mitigation efforts and things like that as my school and other schools. And it's just, you forget that, like, not everybody is going through your same experience. And then when you hear, which, I mean, it's okay, but it's important to hear everybody else's stories too, so you can say, like, oh yeah, like, no wonder we're all so tired, like all of these different things that we're doing. But you're right, it is exhausting.
Oh, sorry, Rachelle. She's frozen. She'll come back to us in just a minute. Barbara, I want to say hello to you.
In a good place, though. That's a nice frozen. There she is. Usually when I get frozen, it's not that look. So that was good.
It's like, where did any of that come through, or was I just gone?
No, we got a little bit of it. We have the gist.
And then you were gone.
What it is. Okay, well, you know what? It wasn't important, so we're just gonna skip it. No, I just said we are exhausted and we need to take breaks. But sometimes it's hard when you get used to that kind of go, go, go. then it's hard when you slow down. Like this weekend, I'm like, okay, I know I have like a ton of things to do. And then you, like we said before about being busy and productive, I was busy, but I really wasn't that productive because I was tired and just thinking about all the things that I have to do when I should have just gone and taken a nap and tried with a little bit of a fresher take on it.
Definitely.
Yes. I love it. We're going to talk about like weekending well and why we're talking about the summer to recharge, but also during the school year, just finding those weekends to really recharge and let go, give yourself permission. And I love that we have like a leader who is known for being an amazing leader. And I know I'm not trying to just pump you up, but I know the more you talk, it sounds so real. And Barbara, I wanted to say hello to you. Thank you for joining us. I love it when she joins us. But yeah, so how this year, when you talked about there are things that you want to do and you want to keep doing, and there are things that you don't really want to do. And I know that you have found something about the weekend to celebrate. Can you tell us like how your mind has shifted to the weekends and how that's helping you to recharge?
Definitely. And I think that's something that I have noticed, when I used to teach, and then back now that I'm a 12-month person, like that, my contract is 12 months. I live for the summer to try to recharge, and the same thing for the weekends. But I really have shifted. I would tend to spend at least one weekend day, a month or every, like either a Saturday or Sunday at school. Like, and I would come up here and, our lead lab chats on Saturday morning. So a lot of times I'd come here, do our lead lab chat, and then stay until 1 or 2, just catching up, and there are weekends I need to do that still. But one thing I've learned is I've reshaped the way that our newsletters that we put out. I used to put those out on Saturday or Sunday. And then I realized if I'm putting them out on Saturday and Sunday, that means people have to read them on the weekends. And our staff deserve the chance to not have to check their emails over the weekend. And so I really changed the way that I put things out there for people. I make sure, and I also don't beat myself up if something happens and I can't do it before I leave on Saturday, but I tend to have everything out by 4:00 on Friday night. And then that way staff can have the chance to check out what's going on the next week. And then also they're not, I rest on the weekend. I make sure, and I shared this with you all before, and I really live by this. I want to live by this more. I'm not there yet. But I read a quote in this book by Marcel. It's a phenomenal book about restorative practices. And it talks about how it's not about, I always used to think, hey, you can't pour from an empty cup. And that's so true. But what this quote was saying was more to the gist of your cup should be full, because that's you. You need your cup full to take care of you. It's what's running over that's for everyone else. And I think that's the part that is, sorry, your cat is cracking me up. So, and they're also drilling something. I have no idea what they're drilling next door to me right now. So I'm just like, okay, that's fine. That's great. Sounds great. But so making sure that I really think about how do I make sure on the weekends and in the evenings that I make sure my cup's back to being full, but then how do I get more so that I can serve more to others? And I think too, it shouldn't just be weekends and holidays and summers that we rest should be normalized every single day. And I think that people used to, myself included, I used to put greatness, to be a great whatever leader, mother, wife, person, that I had to be type A, going all the time, and 4 hours of sleep, caffeine overload, and then I started to realize that that's not, again, that goes back to being busy and not productive. And so I really had to analyze my practices so that I can help build a culture of wellness with those I serve in this building, my own kids, etc. So definitely the weekend, I have to weekend well. I really try hard not to do schoolwork on the weekend unless it's needed. I also am not going to come to work not prepared either. But and then it's amazing how much energy you have when you come in. You come in and you're really truly relaxed and ready to model that. And I had a staff member the other day that said, I really noticed that you've done a better job with that this year. And it shows, because when you're here, you're more productive. And I'm like, okay, that's awesome. That's the whole point. So
that is some great feedback. Yes. And so did you do anything fun this weekend?
Yes, I did. We had a girls' evening on Friday night. So myself and a couple of my friends and went over to another friend's house, and we do it every probably twice a year. And so we just went to dinner, went back to her house and hung out and just told stories, laughed, had a glass of wine or 2 or 3, and then spent the night, you know. So it's like a little fun things like that. I got to hang out with my boys all weekend, and you know, just got to hang out around the house. And I think that's the thing too, is like that's one thing this past year's taught me too, is home is where the heart is, right? It really is. When you see my post on Facebook, there's a reason why it's home with the heart, because I was so busy doing all the things that I didn't necessarily, I would leave and it was dark, and I'd get home and it was dark. And it's like, I need to make sure to reconnect with my family. And I really realized my boys have grown so fast. I mean, one's going to be a senior in 3 days.
Oh, wow. So
it's like, okay, I gotta make sure and slow down so I can spend more time with them for sure.
Yeah. I know. And if you're watching, I just wanted to, what did you guys do this weekend? I went camping with my husband and family this weekend. And when I say camping, I didn't stay overnight. Like, there was no way I was going to sleep in a tent. It's cold here at night. It's still in the 30s. But I realized that when I stop, when I'm off of my phone, when I'm off of the computer, it actually gives me so much a better outlook for the week. I feel like I have my brain back. There are weekends where I'm trying so hard to blog, or just do things for other people, or even my own stuff. And I just feel like I can't get there. Like, I can't even find words anymore. So I feel like the reality of taking a break, getting outside of your normal is super important. And especially, like you said, finding friends, doing things with friends. Now, in a lot of places we can still do that. Other places may not wherever, however the pandemic looks for you. I don't know. But all I know is that your cat's having a great time, Rachelle.
I think I'm frozen now again too. Like, it's just, there we go. It's entertaining. So at least he will be entertained today. But the word that stuck out for me from what you just said, Mel, was normal. And I'm like, this actually would have been over a year ago considered to be not the normal experience when you're live, but with all of the past year with animals and kids and noises and everything, I think we've become a lot more tolerant. But he will not. I'm trying to kind of block him out and trying not to smile whenever he's there. But
you shouldn't block him out.
Oh, I tell you what, just if Jamie Donnelly gets a hold of this video, it's going to be the end of me because of the cats. But though I love seeing, Beth, whenever you post just the different pictures and things, the kids and things at school, I always crack up with just some of your posts in your role as an administrator and what you deal with the middle school and everything. But you've just done so much, and the recognition that you've gotten, of course, so well deserved. And I just think about our time when we were in New Jersey, which, gosh, that was October of 2019. And it was just so nice to be able to connect and to learn more about the work that you do and have some fun. But even though we were all there, on a weekend with a conference and doing presentations and all those teachers learning too. I think that's just our nature to do that. But the nice thing about our experience was we did all the learning, we did the presentations and took all that in, but we were all just sitting there and relaxing and enjoying each other's company and having laughs and a little bit of shenanigans, in the lobby. But I mean, I don't know, we need to do that more, especially now. And, I had just wrote a post, speaking of blogging now, over the weekend about PD, because normally in the summer I write a blog post for Getting Smart about what are the opportunities coming up for PD. And now it's kind of, even my podcast, I was thinking about, how do people feel about it? And so I think maybe what the key is one, obviously taking time to relax and sleep and disconnect and all of that. And maybe just find one thing to focus on. Get up in the morning and sit outside and listen to a podcast, or jump on a Clubhouse discussion, or get some friends and grab one of those books that's in that huge pile of books that we all have and say, hey, you know what, why don't we all read this book together? And then once a week we'll sit down, and even though we're Zoomed out or whatever, have a talk, have coffee and connect. And, it's, for me, that is kind of self-care and taking a break, because that we're not going to just be talking about that book whenever we're meeting, but we're still getting some learning and sharing ideas. So I did force myself to take a break this weekend. I went out and listened to some live music, so that was good. And for me, of course, I was on my phone a little bit, but it's hard not to be.
It's okay to be, and I like how Beth was saying that earlier, you have to do sometimes what you're going to do. You're going to be on your phone a little bit. It's all right. And I love that Barbara shared, she went to church camp for a fun fundraising campaign. So it must have been a really good time because it was super fun. And then, moved our college graduate home. How wonderful.
Mhm.
Yes, I hope that he gets the job that he wants. That's so great. And I love that. And here's the thing. I really, really am going to advocate for this, but we need to have an unconference where we all meet together and we just have so much fun, because the biggest thing we'll do is we'll network and we'll have fun together and we'll learn. But that's what we really need. I think our students, like this summer, I homeschool, so my kids don't get to stop having school, but I'm going to really try hard to make it super fun so that we're connecting and, all those ideas. And I think that's kind of what we should do as educators as well. We should connect when we can and have fun together.
Right. Well, and I think the big thing for me too, I this year we all slowed down in the conference circuit, right? Like the conferences they really did. And I did some virtual things too, but I'm not a virtual learner. That's not my learning style at all. So I have really, my PD has definitely still been from social. Like I still get a lot of PD from Twitter. I see a lot of things on there that I learn from. And there's plenty of books out there as well. But I think Rachelle, you were mentioning this, like, it's okay to do you, like, do you with whatever you want to do. And don't feel guilty about it. Like I'm not on Twitter as much as I used to. I still try to share our story of our school. I'm trying to be very active in our Lead Lab community, but I don't, there are times I used to, like, I would stress myself out if I didn't respond to people that that maybe tweeted something to me. And now I'm like, it's not that I don't want to, it's just, I don't want to miss an in-person experience because I'm so worried about the social media connections. Because the people that I know, I always try to come back to it, at some point. But I think that's another thing too, is that, it's okay to not have read the latest book that came out or the latest whatever. Or for me, I haven't blogged in a minute. I blogged for NASSP because we had a live look-in in our school, which was a big celebration. We had our kids, we had a student PD day, which was pretty fun. And we had that planned last year when it was shut down. And part of being a digital principal is that they do a live look-in. And so on May 14th, we were live with NASSP. And so our 6th and 7th graders had done conference proposals, and then they were selected, and then they actually presented things they were passionate about. The theme was future ready. And so it was neat to do that, but like, I don't tend to, I don't put it on myself. I've watched so many of our colleagues in the Twitter world, especially, like, they're like, oh my gosh, I have to blog every day. I'm like, okay, well, why? Like, what is that? Does it bring you joy? Does it fill your cup? Because yes, then do it. Go for it. That's awesome. But I feel like so many people put these undue pressures on themselves sometimes too. But anyways, that's just me. I've let it go a little bit. And I know at some point I tend to blog when I get inspired, or whenever I'm mad. If something ticks me off and I don't think it's right, that I tend to blog. But yeah.
I love that. I know I have really neglected my own blog lately. I've been writing a lot for other people, and you and Tim got together this Saturday. I haven't watched it yet, but it is on my to-do list. But before we get to our fun game, how did that even go when you talked about the live blog reviews?
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, he had a list of like 8 or 10 different blog links, like when you and I put them in and we didn't realize it was going to be kind of looked at and so forth. But we took turns pulling up a blog site and just went through and just looked at, the layout and, is what's going on. Is it easy to find things? Is it current and all of that? So it was good. And people were joining in. That's a nice thing about doing these live broadcasts is people can join in because it's streaming on Twitter or YouTube or Facebook. And although it is a little bit, I'm sure unnerving thinking like, oh my gosh, when did I last update my blog or what's the layout? But I enjoyed it. We saw some really great blogs. There were 2 from art teachers that were unbelievable. One was Miss Artastic. Easy to remember that name, but the other one too, just makes me think like, I feel like I'm slacking.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing.
I'm fabulous doing what I'm doing. And that's the thing. Like I said, it's hard. You compare yourself to everyone else. And sometimes like there's so many things that right now, it's amazing when you take time to rest, how much more energy you have to do those other things. And again, like I said, I do like to blog. Like I don't have a podcast because that is something that I love to listen to people's podcasts at times. I like to be on people's pod, but I'm not always like, I'm not to a point where I know it, like for me and my style, I won't be able to, I'll do a podcast. It'll be another month and a half. I'm like, that's not really what podcast, like you have to be kind of regular on those. People don't pay attention. So
that's right.
You can't give yourself a positive self-talk. Right?
Absolutely.
I agree. I agree with both of you. And Rachelle, you're blogging all the time and you allow people to guest blog. And you just had a guest blog on yours also, Beth. So that's great.
Definitely.
You're giving your platform also to other people. Okay, we talked serious stuff. Now let's have some fun. Are you ladies ready to have some fun?
Let's do it.
All right.
Yeah, before the cat comes back.
And if you're watching, join in with us. Just like this, it is fun to be able to have those comments. And Barbara, I know you're going to be ready to do this too.
I know. Barbara is one of my favorite people in the whole world.
I know she is. She joins in so much too. I love it. So, all right. So first question, would you rather never be stuck in traffic again or never get another cold?
Never get another cold.
Yeah.
No more colds.
I'm saying no more colds either because
I can keep myself busy in traffic.
Yeah, we'll be on our phone doing email while we're sitting there, right? Exactly. Recording a podcast. All right, next question. Mel, I know what you're going to say on this one, maybe. Would you rather live on the beach or in a cabin in the woods?
Beach. 100%.
All right. Mel?
I don't know. I don't feel like either one is my place.
Yeah, I would probably pick more the cabin in the woods because I do like trees and so forth, but I wouldn't be opposed to a cabin in the woods near a beach.
I would do the same. Yes, of course.
I mean,
oh man,
I like the beach, and I think I would rather be in a beach. But the thing is that you get sand everywhere, and I'm not really a fan of having sand everywhere.
Yeah.
So
I'm okay with it. I will exfoliation. I'm all right with that. And I'm with Barbara. I've had enough mosquitoes. I was actually just itching my leg where I got a mosquito bite last night. So yes.
Oh my gosh, that is a good point. I had not.
The mosquitoes here are large. You can't see me, Rachelle. I have my listening lips in. I forgot you can't see me when you're doing this. Dang. Okay, I'm listening now.
All right, next question. Would you rather be completely invisible for one day or be able to fly?
Can I fly all the time or just one day?
Just one day. I think I'm flying.
Yeah, I think it'd be creepy to be invisible. I don't know that that creeps me out a little bit. That's a stalker vibe for me. I think I would fly. I'm not sure where, but
yeah, wherever you want.
I'm listening. Yeah, I'm just listening. I totally want to fly. I want to fly too. It is creepy to be like invisible,
I know.
Totally creepy. I'm not into creepy at all.
Oh, I can't see you. I'll just pretend. Okay, next question. Would you rather travel the world for a year, all expenses paid, or have $100,000 to spend on whatever you want?
Travel the world.
Yeah, I'm going with the travel the world too.
Oh gosh, that was hard. That's hard.
I know, because $100,000 is a nice amount of money, but
but I think that travel the world. I think Bob Barker would agree that it's probably going to be a little more than that because we're going everywhere. And we're living it up and we're eating. Yeah, we'll get our over 100.
We're eating.
That's true.
You had me at we're eating. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
We're going to travel the world.
Okay, next one. Would you rather be able to speak to animals or speak 10 foreign languages?
That's going to be hard for you, Rachelle.
I knew that was coming.
The animals, I already speak animals, so I would do the 10 languages.
What animal do you speak the strongest?
I'm a dog. I'm more of a dog. Like I can read what your cat is saying right now is that just try to shoo me out of here because I'm going to take her anyway. And I'm going to show my rear end right on camera. Like that's what your cat's saying. I'm a dog. I like all animals, as you can see in my posts of the toads and the whatever else that I may eradicate from our school. But I'm definitely a dog person, big time.
All right, Mel, what did you say, Mel?
Oh gosh, you know what? I'd rather speak 10 languages because I like people.
Yeah. Okay, I'll ask two more. So this one.
No, you didn't answer it, Rachelle.
You answered for me.
I just said I bet I know which one. I didn't answer for you. But I do.
Well,
you want to speak animals.
Probably. I know. Okay. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you got me on that one. Okay, this is a funny one. Would you rather sip gin with Ryan Reynolds or shoot tequila with Dwayne The Rock Johnson?
Tequila. I watched that Tequila commercial or something, or heard him on. So then I had a dream that he came to our school and did a keynote for us. So
oh yeah,
I don't even know, but I love The Rock. I just always, Ryan Reynolds is fine too, but
yeah, I would pick
Ryan Reynolds is fine. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, so I can't do tequila. I have a bad story with tequila. So what was drinking with Ryan? What were we drinking?
Sipping gin. I'll change it to sipping whiskey. How about sipping whiskey with Ryan Reynolds?
Okay. Actually, I would rather have whiskey with The Rock. I would rather be.
That's not an option. That's not an option.
That's not what The Rock is selling.
That's right. That's not what The Rock is selling.
It's good. It's got to be good tequila. So.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, well, and that's what the keynote, Barbara. So Hamish Brewer did our keynote for our student PD day. So we do I know, right? So that's what's nice. Like, that's one thing that's awesome about Twitter is Hamish is one of my dear friends. And I just said, hey, can you do just 10 minutes? He's like, can I do 20? I'm like, sounds great. So it was awesome. So he gave our kids a great message because we weren't sure if he was going to be able to make it. So The Rock was going to stand in my dream, apparently, but.
Oh my gosh.
It's awesome. That's what's great to be that's one thing Twitter's changed my life because I've been able to get connected with people that can help us out, can inspire my own kids here and vice versa. So yeah, it was pretty awesome.
That is awesome.
There's the Hornets too, Hornet Nation, and we're Hornet Nation too. So it was pretty cool.
That is cool.
Yes. Boom, boom. High five moment for sure. Yes.
All right. Last question. Would you rather go back and live through the 80s or the 90s?
It's all right here, ladies and gentlemen.
1990s or like the 1890s?
1900s. 1980s, 1990s.
Like the age I was then or now?
Your pick. Doesn't matter.
You're like, just answer the question. Beth.
No. We're very flexible.
I would probably say the 90s. I'm going to go 90s on that one.
Oh, I'm going to go full on 80s as the person I am now. I want to relive the 80s, and I want to have the big hair, and I want to have the tight rolled jeans. I would win either way, but I'm going to say the 80s. Barbara says the 1990s. What do you say, Rachelle?
Yeah. I'd say probably the 90s. But I would want to go roller skating in the 90s, though.
Good old, I roller skate now, so I mean, really.
Oh my gosh, you seriously? Okay,
we still have roller skating rinks here in Missouri.
All right, if I get to Missouri,
we'll roller skate.
We need to.
Sounds great.
That'll be self-care.
There's roller skating rinks everywhere. I love roller skating with young people. It's hysterical. My kids are hysterical to watch roller skating.
Yes.
Well, we have reached the end of our time. Beth, thank you so much for joining us today. And I hope that the rest of your week, the last week where your kids are at school, I hope it's an amazing time together. It sounds like a great community. Barbara, thank you so much for joining in with us. Oh, she says, have you seen the Holderness? Yes, I love the Holderness family. Thank you for joining in with us. They are. Rachelle, you're an amazing person. I love connecting with you every day. Do you ladies have any final words before we say goodbye?
Nope. Just thank you, all the people watching this. Thank you for all you're doing for education, always and especially this year. Because wow, what a year it's been.
Oh yeah, 100% agree.
Mm-hmm.
Totally. And she said it without moving her lips. Now she's a ventriloquist, so I love it. All right, everybody. My listening lips, I'm putting them in. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.